kids, I'm outside. I'm going to head down to the creek, but I wanted to show you this. I haven't been down here in a couple of weeks. This is where Brian cut out for me to get to the springs. And you can see right here, I'm on solid ground now. But right there is where all the springs start. And you can see that area. That's where the pond is going to be. And then beyond that, before the hillside, you can see the tail end of that big clearing I'm talking about. And I'm going to shoot that way. And then I'm going to shoot up and show you where the Winnebago is. There's the shed. There's the Jeep. Don't mind the noise. I ripped the muffler off on a stump. And I don't know if you can see how actually mountainous this is. That hill's probably 300-400 feet high. And it's probably 200-300 feet down to where the springs are here. But I wanted you to see this. This is all solid ground right up until the edge. But that's all going to be pond. And then this is all going to be my front yard. Okay, I'm going to head to the springs. I'll pick up there. Hey kids, I said to the springs. I should have said to the creek. I'm right behind the shed. There's the shed. These are part of those trails that Brian cut in for me. But what I wanted you to see, this is a better view. That's the clearing where the springs are. That's going to be the pond. And now you can actually see how big this big clearing is. And I'm going to head down to that. I'm going to see if I can drive with this camera going. But if not, we'll have an accident. So hang on, let me get back into gear. Okay, this is part of the 2-track that Brian cut in for me. And as you can see, that clearing is just huge. And you can see the mountains. And yes, I do have some neighbors down there. They got a little, I don't know, thing going. There's 2 or 3 houses or buildings, and they've got electricity down there and are heating with all wood. Okay, let me get going again here. It's kind of hard because these are so tight, and trying to drive one-handed is hard. Okay, now we're back up on the access road. This is the access road. There's the 2-track under the power lines. And as you can see, I'm heading to the creek. That's the stump right there that did me in. And you can see there, they got a travel trailer down there, a couple buildings. Haven't met him yet. The guy's name's Gary. But every time I'm down here, he doesn't seem to be around. Now, this is on the way to the creek. You can see the clearing from right here in front of me. This is my property, and everything to the north over here. Now you can see how big that clearing really is. It's just huge, and my property is just about as far as you can see. So here we go down to the creek, and I'm going to show you exactly what I do about every 10 days. And I had the guy with the brush hog clear all this out when he was here. Well, it was about a month ago. And this is the actual creek. Now, you can see the angle we're on. We're on probably a 40-degree angle. And the creek runs all the way back up into my property again. If you look hard, you can see how actually high these mountains are. Alright, what I normally do is head over here. You can see that little pink flag there. That's the edge of my property line. You can see the creek here. This is a little reservoir that somebody has built up. And let me switch hands here. There's fish in here, small, but there's fish. There's a lot of crawdads, a lot of frogs. I'm going to have me some frog legs one of these days. This is another clearing. And what I normally do is go up here and do a turnaround. So I'm going to do that. There's the Gary and his little cottages. Now, you can see that pink, that's the property line again, so that's where my property ends. That's the big old tree that I got hung up on here a couple, 2-3 months ago. But this is that clearing that I've been talking about. And it's probably 400, 500, 600 feet long, probably 100, 150, 200 feet across at the widest point, and it butts right up to the creek, but it's all solid ground. So eventually what I want to do is not build across over here, but back here where the 2-track comes down to the creek is somewhere from here to the north, build a crossing point. So you could come down this hill. Here, let me move ahead a little bit more because I'm going to get some water here. I'm going to show you that too. But let me get out of the truck here. And you can see just the angle that we're on. I mean, you do this wrong and you're going to flip the vehicle. But what I wanted you to see was the actual creek. And this is where I come to get water. And this is all on my property, so this is mine. And you can see, I mean, this is the mountains. A lot of trees down, a lot of wood. Enough to build a log cabin, log house, log community building. I mean, there's even stacks of it piled up here. But here's the creek. And she's running pretty good. I don't know why, because we didn't get that much rain. We've only had 1 inch of rain the last 10 days. But this is my little babbling brook, my creek. So, I'm going to shut this off. I'm going to get the pump out, and then I'll pick up again there. Okay, we're back again. I wanted you to see this. This is the third little inverter I've gone through since I've been here. And you just hook that up to the battery. You run a little cable down, and you can see there's my pump sitting in the creek. And it's running already. And you just go back to the hose, and as you can see, the pump's already pumping. And you always let it run a little bit to get some clear water. This is my tank. And now this is the drain hose. And as you can see, I've got that capped off. And you just unscrew the top. Grab your hose, and as you can see, pretty clear water, and I get good pressure out of that pump, and you just start to fill things up. And that's it. Now we wait. It takes about 20 minutes to get 60 gallons in there. So you figure about 3 gallons a minute. And here's the clearing that we did the turnaround in. This is the start of the big clearing. And you can see how far the clearing goes. There's a 2-track up the mountain there, which leads to another clearing, but I don't know if RVs would want to climb up there. But this is where I want to make the park end of it. And where those small walnut trees are is where I want to put the cabin, because it butts right up against the creek and would give you access to water. The power line is directly up there 300 feet. So they could bring a pole down here, and there's no charge to put the pole in, transformers, anything, as long as I have a foundation up, a permanent foundation. They don't mind coming out here and doing this stuff, but they've been stiffed a few times. So if you put a permanent foundation up, start a building, they'll do it gladly for free. So that's on the agenda for come springtime. Either a large cabin or a community building, something. But just to get that foundation up and a building up so we can get electricity down here. Okay, that's it for now. I'm going to go have a seat and smoke a cigarette. Okay, it's been about 20 minutes. I'm back at the Winnebago. As you can see, I got the hose in for the holding tanks. And this is my little storage where I drain the water into and then pop the pump into that. And